Welcome to the Dads in Progress podcast. This is episode 1. I go by the name of Ski here with both of my co-hosts here and 2/3 of the podcast. Let them introduce themselves.
This boy Hev, aka Juanito.
And Sport.
Big Sport.
So basically, what I guess what you could say our mission statement. Our mission statement is. We've been friends for a while, so both of us, we all relate. All of us relate as fathers or whatever. So we all in different stages of fatherhood. Me, I got the two that's in the beginning stages of elementary school. Hev got the teenagers
and the grown up, almost 21.
Oh my God! Yeah,
jeez, damn, I said that shit out loud.
And I got elementary kids, young kids, and then I got a baby too. So that's an obstacle.
Start new.
Yeah. So this will be the pilot episode of a safe space for men and fathers, and trials and tribulations. You want to say?
Yeah. Remember, we dads, but we also we regular people, so it's gonna be a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right. So we definitely gonna reflect about the parenting and the dad aspect and the fatherhood and all that. But sometimes it's fuck them kids. Let's just be honest. So
sometimes, a lot of times, it's gonna be fuck them kids.
But what we plan on to provide is a place that when you do, you go through something, you ain't the only person going through it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, do I yell too? Like, everybody else yell at their kids? Or, you know what I mean? Or everybody worry about them? Or on some deep thought stuff? Do everybody feel, vulnerable when they think of their kids? Or whatever the case may be?
Right.
And it'll be a safe space to just be transparent and we'll try open-ended that, like, everything is not off limits. Everybody can, we don't want to just provide the content. We want to create the content that people provide to us. So,
Right. We want to let everybody know that you are not alone in this. I know sometimes in fatherhood, when you got the kids or whatever, if you're a single father, it's definitely hard. You feel like you're alone. You feel like you're going through shit. Your baby mom giving you shit. Your kids is giving you shit. Your job giving you shit.
Yeah.
So this is a spot right here where you could just listen to it, relate to it, and understand that, like I said, you are not alone in this.
And hopefully we can help y'all out. Like if anything y'all going through with y'all kids. Me being the OG father, I guess.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot.
What's the ages you got? You said
20. Should be 21 October. 21, 17, 13.
Good God.
OG, like I said.
For me, I got 10, 9, and 1 going on 2. So,
and for me, I got my 6-year-old and my 5-year-old. I put them out back to back, so
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a place where we're not gonna get too deep, but if we have to get deep, we're gonna have to pause though. Like, we're
gonna get up in there,
right up in there. But no, so like once a month, what we like to do is on our Instagram page and also on the recent page, we're gonna have open-ended questions and open-ended just for you guys to respond back to us. If you have any questions for us, if you'd like to hear any stories, if you have a story that you want to express to somebody, you can definitely hit us up on both of those pages,
right.
And then we'll definitely talk about it. So,
yeah, or just letting us know that we not the only ones that feel that way. That's reassuring. Like
right.
Go ahead.
Anything you can relate to, just like hit us up. Like I've been through that too. Like we want to know we ain't the only one going through it too.
Right, or just the male perspective on things in life, relationship.
Yeah, for all the single mothers, if you going through some shit with your baby 5 or whatever,
you can't understand him, or you don't know why he acting this way, or
Right.
And the big thing, like I said, I got a 21-year-old daughter with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So
my heart
I'm
hurt
going
right
through
now.
that part.
My heart hurt.
They ain't get there yet, but I'm there. OG, yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it, but we gonna get to all that eventually.
Right.
And the good thing, we all have both sides of the spectrum. We got girls and boys. So
right.
All of us. So yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we was knocking them out.
But it's it comes a time when you just speak in general, and it's like you don't know where you might be, if you're the only one feeling that way, or you're not, or maybe you in a space where like you need advice on just regular stuff, or do do you experience this when you go up to the kid's school, or do you experience this when you got them by yourself, or whatever the case may be? Is, you know, we just find relatable topics, and we all like we said, we open to anything, but we're gonna always stay current in how being a dad involves just current events in general of what's going on. Like, you know, like anything could be in the news and it might relate, and it might live up to it, or just male complications in general, just, you know, how the male operate and how the man operates and what's okay, and to let you know that, you know, you got somewhere to say what you need to say, or maybe you don't feel like saying it out loud, but you can put it in a text or a DM or email, and we gonna anonymous if you want, or, you know, we'll broadcast or whatever like that, and we gonna touch on it. Because it's a broad spectrum.
Let's just be honest. A lot of y'all come to for advice anyway. All right, so this is I get a lot of DMs, I get a lot of text messages, I get a lot of phone calls from single mothers, from wives, from everything else, just trying to speak on and talk about what's going on with their baby father, what's going on with their husband, what's going on with their brother, or whatever. And, you know, I'm always open to give y'all advice. I'm always an open ear for y'all to listen to. So this is going to be just a neutral place we can kind of collectively, you know, because I can't deal with all y'all shit sometimes. You know, I got my own shit to deal with. So I might pass some shit to Sport. I might pass some shit to Juanito. So,
and I'm going to catch it and dunk that shit.
We're going to centralize it here. Whether whatever it is, we're going to centralize it here and create the safe space or whatever like that. But like you said, dip. We calling it dip. Dad's in progress. You know what I mean? Because we always,
dip set.
It's definitely the set. So we always, you know, when you think you mastered something, you learn something else or whatever like that.
I'm gonna be Jimmy if we gonna be Dipset. I'm not gonna be. I don't know who gonna be Joel's.
I'm more like Freaky. I ain't want to rap.
Joel's had a good run earlier. It went bad, so it's the end.
Joel's was really bad.
Was the spitter though, out of all of them.
Yeah, and Joel spit a lot now with them chip teeth.
Yeah, I'll be 18-year-old Joel. Like, oh, he next.
Nobody want to wear the pink?
No, come on, Ken.
Nobody want the pink range?
No, I'm cool.
Cool.
Y'all can have
Jimmy. Yeah.
Dipset. We the new Dipset. How about that? Dad's in progress, man. Just tune in. That's all we need y'all to do. Tune in. Get involved. We here for y'all. And
we'll let y'all decide if, you know, we're going to start off, like we said, it's the pilot, so we'll start off 30 minutes. But if y'all think we should go for an hour, we'll go for an hour. And if you want to come on and you got some shit you want to say and you want Keisha to see your face.
Listen, don't get on this joint and start talking about you gonna kill yourself and you can't move back in the crib. And this is not the space for that.
We not the suicide hotline. We'll help you with some
This
things.
is not that. I'm not catching no cases. I don't want to be involved in none of that. So like, but if you got some real shit that you want to talk about,
you gotta prove it to me. What say you gonna do it?
Hey, let's just keep it straight. You gotta be a real dad. Like, let's not be on some some whole other shit. Like,
that's tough. But we don't want we want the real dads. You got to be in your kid life, because all of us is in our kid life. We play an important part in our kid life, and that's, as a father, we expect you to do the same. So
if you've been booked for 10 years and your daughter's 6, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
that don't add up.
I don't got nothing to do with
it. You gotta figure that
out. I'm giving you, we give advice for in life fathers. Yeah. Like, we not giving. I'm not gonna tell you that, don't listen to her. Just do what you want to do when you ain't been there. Like, you know what I mean? No, listen to her. Like, you know what I mean? So things of that nature.
Right. But we're starting off with the first, I guess, father topic. We all know that Kendrick Lamar's album. Great album, great album, but that's just my personal opinion. I think it's a classic. Other people don't feel that way, but that's.
I gotta listen to it again.
You don't think it's a classic?
I gotta listen to it again.
We throw around classic.
We ain't gonna start already. I gotta listen to it again.
I'm not one of them people that throws the term. I know. Listen, I'm not one of them people that throws the term classic in the hat just for anything, right? All right. I think personally it's a classic album. It doesn't seem like an album where he's trying to compete with other rappers. It seems like it's a letter that he's trying to, personally write to somebody, whether it be his family or whatever. It just seems like something very personal.
To me, it seemed like he did a lot of therapy. And he vented. But I'm gonna listen to it again.
Yeah.
But the song specifically I want to talk about is Father Time, obviously, just to kind of keep the theme of the dip. So, personally, I feel like that was an incredible song. I was telling them, I don't know if I told y'all too, but I was in the car with somebody. I had to make an emergency stop to Wawa and walk my shit off because like I was in full blown like the back of my throat got hot, my eyes were starting to weld up, like the shit was like.
That's some shit when you gotta walk off the like the almost the tear, like when the shit start watering up, you like I just gotta take a walk.
No, real shit. Like I'm at the Wawa kiosk, like just pressing buttons. I'm not even trying to order a sandwich. I'm just like pressing buttons, trying to collect my thoughts together. Like that's how bad this shit was.
I ain't gonna lie, when y'all said when we talked about what we wanted to talk about today, I listened to it like 8 times in a row, bro. Like that shit really, it touched you a little bit. But I had a question off of that though. Don't mind me asking. What do daddy issues look like for men? Like, you know how when you speak of daddy issues, most of the time it's women and how they
mommy issues.
You know what I'm saying? How they be searching for their dad and niggas and a bunch of different niggas. Like, what is daddy issues for men? You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, if I could speak on it, I don't know my dad at all. Right? So I never had a conversation with him. Adult conversation, teenage conversation, the adolescent conversation. Right. Don't know him at all. So do I have daddy issues? Like, is that the reason why I am the way I am?
Absentee is an issue too.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
So I think, and in my situation, my pop was in and out of jail, whatever like that. So I think the issue becomes of like, I think it's multifaceted. Like, it could be what you missing. Right. It could be what you lack, or you could have a situation where somebody is present, but they not the great model that you want them to see. But I think we cookie cut it that dad issues only exist in women. And women, right?
Yeah, that's why I was getting to, like, right, exactly. What do it look like in men? Like, you never hear anybody really speak to that. Like,
so for me personally, my dad was in my life. My dad lived. For those that don't know, my dad lived in Pittsburgh, which is 300 miles, 5 hours away. So I couldn't see him every day or whatever. Right. Worked a lot. My dad was in the military. He did 2 tours in Iraq. You know what I mean? So like I'm talking like 18 months at a time, like shit like that. He volunteered for the second one. Right. Shit like that. So I would only see my dad on holidays and like every once in a while, I guess during the summer or whatever. For me, what daddy issues looked like was I had from a younger age, I definitely learned how to detach myself very early. So meaning like because I couldn't see my father year round, like maybe some kids. I know a lot of my friends didn't have dads in their life, but for those that did, like one of my best friends had his dad, you know, year round. He lived with him day in, day out, south. You know, the parents was married, all that. And I didn't realize it at a younger age, but I was kind of jealous of that because it was like you get to see your dad every day. Right. And then for me, I get to see my dad for a week on Christmas or a week or a weekend on Thanksgiving because he got to work year round at a shitty job and he can't get vacation time or he going away for military drills and stuff like that. So like I said, from a very young age, I had to learn how to detach myself from people really early. And I didn't realize it until I got older, I was like, it's really easy for me like to not like to cut somebody off completely, and like people think I'm cold hearted for that, but it's like it's just how I was raised.
Daddy issue.
Yeah. And then another thing, and I'll never forget. Like, so I don't know if it could go for moms too. Did your parents apologize to you for anything?
No.
No, my mom apologized to me for my dad. For your dad. And it wasn't valid. Yeah. Because it's like, it's not your place to say sorry for him. Right. Or to regret the father you gave me. Like, you know what I mean? That aspect too is like, I'm sorry that you have a shitty dad. Right. I'm sorry I chose a shitty man to be your dad, and that's you lack a role model now. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because that's where I think it is. Your dad is your first role model. Right. Like, you should find that, and I felt I think I cut myself off the men in general, like older men. Yeah. I had a lack of respect on them because in my mind, the one that was supposed to I was supposed to hold to the highest respect had no respect. Yeah, it wasn't there. Like, you know what I mean? I was the same. So my thing is like, oh, fuck y'all. Like, I don't care about none of y'all. Like, you know. So that's how it was.
I was definitely
me. Honestly, I never even like thought about it until I got older. Yeah, it's weird. Like when I had my kids, it was like, damn, like how this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like ain't check up or nothing like in years. And to do you, I give you a story. To give you one as an older, I was about 20. I was working at the Navy Yard. I get on the bus. This nigga in the back of the bus.
Oh wow.
I go sit next to him. Everything. Never acknowledge me at all. Like to look at me and say, like, you know what I'm saying, like that shit. I wanted to fuck him up. I was at that age where I was everything in me not to fuck this nigga up. But I mean, you know, I feel like not having him around, the daddy issues made me a better father to my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like
that made me want to be hard, like be a better father to them, always be around for them because of he wasn't there.
Right. And I feel like we kind of like in that generation of like I said, a lot of my friends didn't have dads in their life, so we had a place where like I know a lot of great fathers.
Yeah, right. I was go ahead, my fault.
Yeah, I know a lot of great fathers. Aside from y'all two, aside from I mean, I know a lot of great fathers that are very present in their kids' life as much as possible. And I know.
Go ahead.
So it's just like I feel like that the absentee of the past generation of fathers kind of like pushed us to like put that one step up. Like I have to do better because I know what it's like for me not to have a dad in my life and not a dad who's around 24/7 or whatever. Right. So I feel like it just kind of caused like this great like ripple effect or chain reaction in men in this generation. We're
in an era where like it's hard for people to see things sometimes until you bring it to their vision. Like so I'd equate it to like people like who smoke cigarettes. You don't see young people smoke cigarettes no more. But it was a thing back when we was younger. Everybody smoked cigarettes. Yeah. So when we were younger, nobody had dads like that. But you slowly seeing the difference, and like a lot of dads are present now.
Or, you know what? Actually, because I always talk about this. We're like the dare generation.
Yeah.
So like our generation, we wasn't doing no heroin. We wasn't doing no like. But now we don't have that dare generation anymore. Like the next generation is because we didn't do anything. They're very inquisitive about hard drugs.
Or I feel like the generation we grew up in knew they were hard drugs. The generation our parents and our fathers grew up in was experimental to this stuff because it was just happening.
Right. So we've seen it.
Yeah. So in my process, I'm trying to learn. I know, but I haven't done it yet. It's like it's a stage where you gotta forgive a man.
Yeah.
Because when you become older, and as we get older, you learn a lot of things that you've seen. Like you live the reality. Like you have shortcomings as a man in general. Right. So I'm a little more forgiving for a man because I know we all fall short.
Let me ask you this: do you think you can forgive your father for not being around?
I know I have to.
You have to.
But do I want to or will is a totally different thing.
What about
because
you?
Go ahead. Would you?
Yeah, I have. Just because I understand that even though like the theme of the show was dads in progress. Right. So we're all fathers that's trying to like navigate towards being the best fathers we could be. At the time, that's what he could do.
Right.
And it took a while for me to really like understand that.
Yeah.
That he was really trying his best in that situation, but he got dealt a bad hand. It just kind of was what it was.
So all right, and that to piggyback off that, how much of it is understanding versus like I understand you went through and I understand you drew a bad hand, but in results that the things that I have going on, like you know what I mean, or the things that your bad hand dealt my bad hand, and I can forgive you for having a bad hand, but I still got to live with the shit that's in my hand.
It's a resentment.
Yeah. So I can forgive a person, but how do you let go of the resentment you have that comes along with it? Like you know what I mean? Yeah. I can get off of it, but what do I do with the bag I got?
Yeah.
Like now, that's the hard part. The hard part is to unpack the bag. Right. Like so, I always relate back to it. Like damn, like, and to use this metaphor, like what if hookah became a crack type drug or like a heroin type drug? Like we wouldn't know because we all smoked it before and like casually did it. Like even if you're not a hookah smoker, you casually tried it because it was harmless to the regular nature. When you could have went out somewhere and said try hookah, oh it's not like cigarettes or nothing like that, it ain't got nothing like that, and you tried it before. Now what if we fast forward 10 years later and this is something as big as heroin? And some people decide to leave it alone, and some people just hooked on it. Yeah. And that's what the world did to some fathers back in the 80s and the 70s. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like when I talk about my pop was on drugs. My pop sold drugs, on drugs, went to jail, all types of shit. My mom told me my pop was on drugs at like 15, 16. Like, so you're not even old enough to make a
that decision. Yeah.
And you already, like, if somebody would have told you that shit had changed your whole life, you probably wouldn't have did it.
And there's so many families it's torn apart just because they thought it was just a recreational drug. It was just like cigarettes.
I don't know too many men that's on like dope and heroin and all that stuff like that got on that as an adult.
Right.
They all got on it as kids. You know what I mean? And it just rippled.
Well, this new generation we got right now, they definitely making the choice to do it.
Like, but I don't even think they know the consequences of some of the pills they're on.
True.
Like, you know what I mean? True. I don't think they know that. You know.
Yeah.
That because society might not view you as you're not the fiend because the rappers take this, but you might get a habit that you can't kick.
Right. Staying on the issue of daddy issue, we in the city, so you see how the city acting, all these motherfuckers acting crazy and shit like that. You think was a lack of a father being in their life, teaching them. You think so? Like, you think it resulted?
I think this is the result of that. The generation we live in, with the violence and stuff like that. A lot of it come from the dads not being present. So,
because a lot of these motherfuckers just don't care. Like, the shit that they doing is just like.
I think some of the shit we gonna have to live through it,
right?
Until like to the next generation.
It's just kind of like the same way the crack epidemic happened.
Yeah,
right? Like,
you gotta live through.
It's something you gotta go through, and it's just gotta die out.
And then you hope the next generation, plants a better seed for their kids or whatever like that.
But that's, as fathers, like, it's hard for us to navigate our kids to keep them away. Cause like I said, I got teenagers,
right?
Yeah. And they all look alike in the inner city. So it's like, how you tell your son, like, you can't go play basketball because you might look like somebody that's beefing with somebody else.
Right. Exactly.
And I can't lose you because you look like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he allowed to have fun?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy in the city right now.
Well, just to speak on that, like, people don't talk about the fears of a father.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, I sit there and watch some movies sometimes, and you raise your kids right. Like, everybody who's doing something, everybody who's sentenced to life or did some crazy stuff is not all projected off the way they was raised. Right. Like, it's people who raised their kids right and all that, and they was lost to the streets. Yeah. And that's really like Hev was saying, that's not a decision you get to make. You can raise your kids right, you can tell them not to go somewhere, but what they're exposed to once they walk out your door, you really don't know. And a situation where you're not with your kids, or like you're not with their mother no more. So you're daddying from afar. Right. So just the fears of, like, and you look at yourself and you say that the things you've been through, and that it might not be the extent, but your kids will have to go through things. Yeah. And they'll always be your kids. Like, I remember my mom worrying about me in my late 20s, and that's an issue. I'm had to worry about my kids in their 20s and their 30s. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a fear of a father. But how you, as a father, are you okay with showing somebody that you had that fear? Us as men, we not taught to fear anything.
I think you honestly have to at this point. Yeah. Because, like, I feel like, so, like, when I was in high school, I was kind of like let's just say I was on some shit. Yeah. Right? My pop, fresh from Iraq, PTSD popping and everything else, smacked me the fuck up. Like, something crazy, like, smacked my head into the mirror, because he was still turned up from being over and being infantry and all that. So, like, he found out I'm fucking up the school. He found out I'm doing this and that. I felt like because he did that, it actually did the opposite of what he wanted to do. Because I started wilding out even more. Because it's like, why do you feel like you comfortable enough? Why do you feel comfortable enough to put your hands on me, and, like, you ain't really been here like that. Like,
who's you chastising?
Right. Like, who the fuck is you? So, like, but even at this point right now, I feel like our kids are more conscious of what goes on. A lot more than I feel like we were. Yeah. Because they have access to the internet. They have access to everything else. So, like, I feel like if we go the hard route, it's just gonna push them away. We have to be vulnerable with our kids. As much as we weren't taught that, we have to learn to be vulnerable with our kids. Yeah. I feel like it's the only way for our kids to actually learn that we care about them.
Yeah. And kids can see the things now that our parents warned us of, and we couldn't show them. Like, your mom could tell you that, I saw somebody get their head blown up the street. Right.
And they'd be like, I did too.
And they could be like, they could be like, I saw that. Yeah. But when we was kids, it was like, that ain't never happened. Or
Right.
well, I don't believe that kid can shoot the park up because I wasn't in the park when it got shot up.
Right.
Yeah, and I never seen that before. I'm still going to the park.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, the shit happened or something like that. Yeah, but I think it's more visual now. They exposed to more things. They're like, yo, they know the city crazy. Right. Not just when we grew up, it was like somebody told you the city was crazy.
Another thing is, it wasn't scary until we knew it happened to somebody we actually knew.
Right.
Now it happens so much to their friends, the people they know, the people around the block. That's like you kind of like desensitized towards it. So like I feel like the kids now was just kind of like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It's everyday life. It's kind of like, you going to the corner store. It's just a part of life. It's just a part of your day. You're gonna hear about somebody getting killed. So I mean, I guess they feel like they can't live in fear, and they see the shit on movies, they see the shit on Call of Duty, they see the shit everywhere else. So it's just like you can't be scared of it. It just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
But what do you, to circle back to the original thing? Do you think daddy issues for men are a big thing that's not talked about? And that's what Kendrick really speak about in the album.
Absolutely, and the thing is, I don't feel like I really like. The reason why the song hit me the way it did is because I really didn't think about it until I actually heard the song.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff we talk about as far as like your father saying, go get your money, don't trust nobody but your mom. I mean, like, and the reason why a lot of us, like, we reject love with women, we reject love from different relationships, we don't trust anybody, we don't trust certain people in our circle who actually like look out for us, but we just kind of think, you know what I mean? Right. I feel like it's because of, it could be daddy issues, it could be mommy issues, but I feel like a lot of us is daddy issues, and we don't really realize it.
Yeah, I just I think a thing that that's lost in like minority culture and all that is that we teach lessons we don't follow. Mm-hmm. Like we taught as fathers, like I don't want to tell my kids, like when my kids get of age, like don't cheat on your girlfriend when I'm cheating. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so like, or I don't want to tell them things that I don't follow. Like, you know what I mean?
As far as we were supposed to want better for our kids.
Yeah, but you gotta practice what you preach too.
That's true. For them to learn from us.
But even like when we was growing up, the people that we looked up, like the OGs on the block, it'd be all the drug dealers. Don't sell drugs, but you selling drugs. I see the money. I see the Harley truck. I see it. How you gonna tell me not to sell drugs and you out selling drugs?
That perspective is exactly like I felt like it was a hypocrite with like a lot of things. Like and me, all the men in my life, like just the men in my life, I always felt like they never set the example that they talked about. Yeah. If you want me to follow down the path, create the path. Right. Don't just tell me to go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I don't know that path. I've never seen the path work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like so, you telling me to go down the path blindly, and I can't do that. You're right. Absolutely right. Yep.
Me as a kid, I used to just watch them. I ain't even listen to them. I just watch them. Yeah. And see them fucking up. Made me be like, I ain't doing that right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how you
doing that and you fucked up. I ain't doing that.
That's going back to like that dare generation, that drug generation. Like I see you
doing.
I ain't touching that.
That right there, white shit right there. No, that shit ain't good.
That shit in that glass dick. I ain't touching that.
Why you smoking that like that?
You ain't acting
cool. You act different.
You put your mouth on that?
A needle? You put a needle in your arm? On your own? The doctor wasn't there? Nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna go ahead that way, man. Yeah, exactly. Watch my cartoons.
J. Cole got a song on his first album. It's called Breakdown, and this I always listen to this song. Yeah. Because he said, I probably should be telling you fuck you because you selfish, but I want a dad so bad I break down. Yeah. Like, and that's the complicated relationship a lot of people have. Like, nobody wants to not have a parent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you convince and I learned that too, that you can convince yourself a lot of things. If you they say that it's better to speak out loud than to speak subconsciously, because subconsciously you register what you want to register. When you speak it out loud, you hear it and you like, that shit don't make sense, as if somebody else was saying it. Yeah. So like, you can know, I can't tell when I'm feeding myself bullshit if I say it in my head. But if I say it out loud, it kind of comes off like if another person was feeding me bullshit.
It's bullshit. Like I gotta hear it.
I gotta hear it out loud. And it's like, this bullshit. Yeah. So that when you say things out loud, you learn. It's like, man, I convinced myself so bad that that I wasn't upset about my relationship with my father and stuff like that, and that now I sympathize with it. But have I forgiven him? nah, I should, but I ain't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a bridge to cross. That's a hard thing to do as a man, is to let another person know they hurt you. Anybody.
Right.
Anybody, you know?
Shit,
like,
we do it with our girls. Like, we won't admit that shit.
Yeah. Like, nah.
Until we get desperate.
Yeah. Then you sending a bullet in the mouth.
Real shit. Like, I can't live without it.
It was an Instagram thread going around where he was like texting shorty and she wasn't responding, and then like the last 2 texts was like, "Yo, this is brother. He in hospital." Like, yeah, it get wild like that.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. See, me being 40, I don't think I don't miss the relationship with my father. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't miss something you never had.
It's already
but you don't. But you are, well, to piggyback off that. Maybe you don't know that you're missing it because maybe you don't, like, it's not like I want somebody to go throw the ball in the park with me or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm over that.
Yeah, we over that. Like, ain't nothing that you could do that. But
yeah.
you can speak to the fact, like, damn, maybe somebody could take me to and tell me something. Like, maybe when I go buy my house, somebody know what's best. Like, somebody should already know how to do this shit and tell me what they gonna do. Right. Somebody to put me on to something. Like, you know what I mean? Right. You miss that person that's supposed to do that. That's supposed to... Because you don't have nobody that's supposed to have your well-being. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, my dad is like, he's trying, like, I got my kids now, so he's trying to, like, just direct me in the right direction, because I guess it took a while for him to learn. Like, he didn't learn until he was, like, my age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you be a father to somebody that you don't even know what you're doing until, you know what I mean? So, it's cool, like... I listen to what he's saying, but I still have that voice in the back of my head, like, I still take it with a grain of salt. You know?
You can't teach me this shit.
Yeah, you can't teach me this shit. I know you probably have the best interest at heart, but because, like I said before, I'm so conditioned now to, like, detach myself from people, I don't know if I can really trust it. And it's not because he has any malice behind it or anything like that. It's just that, like I said, we get so wrapped up in how we grow up.
So
it's hard to...
if I can pose this question, why do you think they take men's you being vulnerable or being emotional as a sign of weakness for the man in general? Like, why is that if I show this side of me, that is always going to be viewed as a weakness point? And not just men, and women too. Like, your woman could tell you, like, oh yeah, you was crying yesterday too. Like,
I think that the emotions, I think we always equate emotional people as females. Feminine, feminine. Like, that's feminine. As masculine men, we supposed to be strong. Like, ain't shit supposed to bother us.
I mean, it's just...
when we know that's not the case.
We're taught in biology that the men are supposed to be like the hunter-gatherers, the protectors,
dragging
the
bitch
tribe.
on the motherfucker
You know
with the club in our hand, we drag.
Like,
get the fucking hand, cook my steak.
So we're not supposed... we're just, like, preconditioned to be... as from time, like, science class to show that, you know, men are supposed to be the strong ones, the males are supposed to be the strong ones. But, like... we don't hear about, like, in, like, the tribe of, like, lions and shit like that. The women are the hunters, and the men just be sitting back with the kids, like, so, like, you know, you got the king of the jungle just sitting back, and the women is out there, you know.
Ladies, we strong, but we go through shit, too.
Well,
worry about our happiness, too.
Exactly. You see the evolution of the woman. Like, the woman has came from having to be home and just take care of home to working, and chivalry is not that... chivalry is, like, a thing of choice, like... you can hold the door for me, but I can get it myself too. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So why has it been a slow crawl to where men can be like, yeah, let me tell you something bothering me. Like, why has it been a slow crawl at that rate where it's like, yeah, women have can play the man role, figuratively speaking, but men can't step into that woman realm of being emotional without being called a faggot or something like that. You know?
You can really like revert that back to not having a family in life, not being taught how to be a man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not being taught how to be a man, you going off of, you winging it. You winging everything.
Yeah. What TV told you.
Exactly. You going off of that. So it's like you don't know what to do. And now these women, a lot of women is raising these men and you know what I'm saying, teaching this. So now they got their foot on their neck, like, you know, man, you ain't shit. You ain't no man. Like, I had to teach you this, that, and the third. I'm doing this, that, and the third. Like, you living off of me.
Right.
And that's like a lot of what's going on now. Like the women is becoming that because I feel like men wasn't taught how to be men or know how to separate.
Or the moms was trying to toughen you up for the streets because I can't teach you to be emotional and then you got to go out there and the kids on the block ain't gonna they
walk down 7th Street.
I don't think I'm not old school, but I don't think a mom can teach a man how to be a man.
They can, but they did their best.
They can do their best. My mom did her best.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot.
But you also learning from somebody, an individual whose perception of what a man is, and that doesn't necessarily know what a man is.
Exactly.
A woman will never know what a man is. She'll always have her own perception of it,
right.
what she thinks it should be.
Right.
But it'll always be the hardcore.
Well, this question then, how can you raise a man if you never had a man in your life, like far as like us, like if you ain't have a dad, how do you know what you want for your kid if you didn't have it for yourself? All you know is what you lack.
Right.
But how do you know what I mean?
I feel like you know what's wrong and like you know what's required.
Yeah.
You know what they ain't supposed to do.
It's
right.
like deductive reasoning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you know what you didn't have.
Exactly.
You know what you always wanted.
You know what you always wanted.
You know exactly what was missing. So right. It's just like you have the pieces that you did have. Mm-hmm. You put it together with the pieces that you didn't have. But you need to have self-awareness of understanding like I needed this. I need to know what I needed in my life. Right. So I needed this part, needed this part. So my kids are going to need this part too.
And in that aspect, and it's just out for fathers in general, like you gotta know that you're winging this shit and it's okay to wing it. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think us as men be so hard on ourselves about how we do things because, and then in my case I always revert back to like I get upset how I handle some shit because I don't know what to do about it, and then I get mad that I wasn't taught it.
Yeah.
Right.
When I should just be more sympathetic with myself about how I'm handling it. Well, shit, you're doing the best you can do. Like, and all you're gonna do is keep continuing doing the best you can do.
Like for an analogy, you are the quarterback of your family. You gotta call audibles. You gotta look at the defense and figure out how you gonna
win some, and you gonna handle some shit wrong and all that. And I'm big on like processing things. So like when you get a chance to sit down and all that, especially with men, I think the man of the house is required so many things. Even if you're not even the man of the house no more, you always gonna be the man of the house, but you could be the man of the house of just you now.
Yeah.
But long as everybody's still gonna fall in line under you, regardless if they under your roof or not. And in that thing, you got a lot of decisions to make and all that stuff like that. And what comes with that is at the end of the day, you gotta process that shit and break it down. Like, yo, did I do right here? Did I do wrong there? Mm-hmm. Should I do it this way? Should I do it that way next time? Maybe the first child, like I said, the first child is the learning curve.
The crash dummy. Yeah. First child definitely the crash dummy.
So exactly.
So
the second one, you gonna do it different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Yeah.
But this definitely, we said we was gonna go half hour. We definitely went longer than that. Yeah. But this the pilot episode.
We got a little deep on the first episode.
Yeah. Hopefully y'all come back and we gonna do some more. But we will be taking suggestions. Like right now, y'all know all our Instagrams or whatever like that. Y'all can hit us up if y'all got any suggestions or just well wishes or opinions about what's going on. But this is episode 1. What we gonna call it? A pilot.
We call it Father Time.
Yeah, definitely. We out.
We out.